Hello. Wow, that was remarkably difficult without Victoria. I will admit, at least it hopefully wasn't recording for the last like 5 minutes while I was on the phone with her because that would have been 2 for 2 on that, which is not good. Okay, sorry it's been so long since I've been around. Just been jumping around and going kind of crazy. But it is the 16th. It's hot. It's Sunday. I'm in Southern California for another day before heading back out on the road. Got one more race in Finland for the European Championship and two more races in the States right now, both in Las Vegas for the Global Rallycross Championship. The next one in the U.S. is on the 29th of September, and then the one after that is the Tuesday of SEMA, which I think is the 30th of October. So spread out pretty evenly. Anyway, okay, let me jump into a couple questions here real quick. It's going to take me a little bit to like refresh and stuff because the comments page doesn't really refresh on its own. Hopefully everybody's made it here who was looking to get here. Lisa asked, what made you want to race cars for a living? And if I could do any other job, what would it be? I never really thought racing for a living would work out. I mean, not that I'm a pessimist, but it's kind of an uphill climb, and there were a lot of kids, that wanted to do that. I just kind of went with it and kept doing it to see how long I could ride it out, and it's just kept on continuing, basically. Other jobs, I mean, I was a pre-med student, but the doctor path seemed not as interesting as I thought it would be when I started school. I think architecture is pretty cool. Pretty addicted to that. I like photography also, so I could see doing something like that, but then I'd be wearing glasses already. Okay. Yes. It's an old chat, Brianna. I'm glad you made it. Sorry you're feeling sick. Hope all's well. And Kim, you're welcome for the birthday wish. Sorry that I wasn't as quick as Rutledge and Adam, who basically hound over their phones waiting for little bings to come out of their iPhones. They don't really, I'm just kidding. But women's shirts, Shannon, that is a very good question. I think there are women's sizes, and this has been a part of my business that has been a little bit tricky to get a hold of. The whole apparel thing has been a little bit difficult and much slower moving than I ever would have thought. I mean, when orders are made for stores, what is it now? It's basically fall 2012. So orders have already been made for spring of 2013. So any design changes that you want to do for a shirt, or for example, release a women's shirt, wouldn't come out until at the earliest fall of 2013 and maybe spring of 2014, more realistically. It's just crazy how slow those things work. Okay, let me see if... No, I have to refresh the whole Facebook page, so this is going to be a little bit of a process. Unless anybody can give me a tip on how to see all the new comments without constantly refreshing the whole Facebook page. Okay, yes, I am on. Thank you. And I'm sorry I don't know how to pronounce your name. Iona? I wish you could just talk back to me because it's problem. I'm just going to call you Alexandra. it's probably very beautiful when it's said correctly. And Terry, I don't know if there's going to be a rallycross track in the GRC that is similar to like the traditional European rallycross, where it's half gravel, half tarmac. The jumps are more like just topography jumps. They're not actual metal ramps built into the track. Hopefully that's the case. I know in Europe they're going to continue running the series over there. They're going to continue cranking it out. But I know that some people, we've been trying to build one in like Horse Thief Mile, El Toro, Marine Base. We've been trying to build little test tracks here and there, but who knows if there's going to be one. I think pretty soon some tracks will put them in there. I started racing, Jordan, in 96, 96. What is it now? Yeah, a little bit before that. Probably more like 93, 94. It was in a spec Ford. It was super boring, slow, really slow car, but a good momentum car. It was road racing. Iwana. Iwana? It's nice. We're coming to Linden Hill next year. Absolutely? I don't know exactly. I wish I could say yes because winning this year and I like the track there, and it's nice to go to an English-speaking track, and the people are big fans, so it's of the racing, so it's super fun. Anywhere near Spain, yes, I will be there. I think X Games may be going to Barcelona, so there we go. Kim, the tire pressure in the Fiesta changes because of the temperature. And so, for example, if you go around a track that's mostly right corners, the left tires are doing the majority of the work, holding the majority of the car. And so they heat up more, and so they get more pressure. So the mechanics will adjust for that. Tule is the guy's name, old Swedish guy who also drives the truck, but he is a tire master, and he will then in the next session start the left side tires. Let's say that they were 4 pounds higher the race before. He'll probably start them a few pounds lower. We wouldn't go full 4 pounds because then the car wouldn't even out into the last lap. So he'd do it a few pounds lower so that the car's even for kind of the majority of the race, since the races are only like 6 laps long. Joseph, autograph can come to a race, come to Vegas, September 29th. Or if you want something, just send me a message, Joseph, and I try to be pretty good about getting messages, and I get help with that. I get several posters and things, and I give them to Fred, my manager, and he's very diligent about getting autographs out, so I would love to get you one. Good. Welcome, Brianna. Jason, have you interested in doing more stage rally? Hell yes, I'd love to do more stage rally. It's just not an easy thing to do. I was talking to somebody about this yesterday, and you know, it's not cheap, this racing stuff. For those of you that have tried to get involved, you know what I mean. It's can be pretty difficult to find other people's money to spend, frankly. And stage rally is one of those things it's really good for a driver. It's really fun, and for the hardcore fans that are into it, it's an amazing sport, but there just aren't many of those. So Rallycross is one that has a lot of the fun factor. The cars are twice as fast, and it's also fun to go door to door, but it also appeals more to a new market, like to people who don't know the sport. It's easy for them to learn it and get interested in it. So there are some business reasons for not doing stage rally. I still love that type of racing, and I'm really happy for Ken that he gets to for Ken Block that he gets to continue to do it, and he's really good at it. So you know, hopefully I'll get to do a couple of those soon. We've actually talked about it for next year. Let's see. Let me go back up to where we left off. Hannah, nice to finally meet you too. Glad you could make it. Weatherwax is your last name. I don't know if that's your real last name, but if it is, it's awesome. Looking to buy a second car. Randy, something fun to drive, 20K. I'll be honest, I don't buy a lot of new cars. The only new car I've ever bought was a Mitsubishi Evo 8. And I just had to have that because it was never in the US. I generally buy cars that are a couple years old, or if I'm racing for a manufacturer like Ford, then I'll get a new car as part of that deal. But yeah, I think an 08 STI would be good. I'm a fan of the Evos also. There's also not to put the Ford badge on my forehead, even though it's sitting on a hat back here somewhere. The Focus ST is 24K, and it's stout. The nice thing about a new car is one, you can lease it if you have, you know, the credit to do that, and your business can take advantage of the 100% write-off of that. And two, the warranty. And something nice about having that on a new car. But yeah, those first 2 years of depreciation are hard for the business part of me to accept. Iwana, glad I got that right. Alexandra, also good. It makes it easy. Let's see. I'm a huge fan. Florida events. I would love to come to Florida. My company's actually based in Florida, and I've got good friends in Florida. A friend of mine's got this crazy build project they're doing in Orlando, or they're building like this huge, like London Eye type thing. I'd love to come there. I don't have any events there. I know Formula D, I think, goes to Northern Florida now. But next time I get a chance to go there, it'll probably be the winter. It's really nice there. The winter when it's not quite so humid. Formula D in Irwindale, Steve. I put it on the calendar, and I'm hoping to be there. I have not been to a Formula D event outside of Long Beach in a long time, and it would be awesome. So, yeah, I'm gonna really try to make it to Irwindale. I think it's gonna be cool. Jenny, the Top Gear guys, and I would love to come over to a live show at Birmingham. Yeah, it would be cool. I mean, obviously, it seems like a natural mix to do something with the UK show and the American show, but the fact is they're two completely different entities. They don't really follow much of the same format even anymore. So I understand why BBC and History have kept them separate, because they're not so much linked together, and they're different audiences really that watch them. But I like I haven't talked to Jeremy in a long time, or James, only briefly. Jeremy a little bit more, and then I've seen and spoken to Richard Hammond a few times, and he's pretty active on Twitter too. Jonah, today is your birthday? No kidding. Well, congratulations. And you're very, very welcome. And thanks for the good wishes on the ERC and the GRC. A lot of birthdays in the last 2 days. I remember seeing Joy also had one. Is that today? Maybe Joy's is today. Okay, Barcelona. It is. Iwana. Coming to Finland ever? Thursday. Nico, I'll be in Finland. Going to Helsinki. And I'm in Scandinavia 3 times a year. Finland, Norway, and Sweden, which are all 3 flavors. But Finland, I'll be in this Thursday. There's a race. I know I fly into Helsinki, and I think the race is Kulova or something. It's like it's east about 50 kilometers northeast, I think, of Helsinki. So you can go to erc24.com or rallycross.com and check out which track it is. Yes, Shannon, the GRC final has, I think, officially changed. It's going to be Tuesday at SEMA, October 30th. There's also going to be GRC the 29th of September at the Vegas Speedway. So the one race will be in the Speedway, and I don't know if I'm speaking out of turn here or anything, but the other race I think will be is supposed to be across the street from SEMA in the big ass parking lot that's over there, and then when the race is over, then it'll be used for parking for SEMA. Are my eyes hazel or gray blue? I think like a lot of people, they do change, Kim. They're green if I'm wearing green, but every other time they're really kind of hazel. Okay, let's see. I'm trying to get through as many as I can, so again, I apologize if I miss you. Thanks for noticing my eyes, though, Kim. Very nice of you. Live audience for Top Gear. I don't, Brianna, know when that's going to happen. I know the format has kind of changed in a way that we haven't done an audience for a while. But we're starting to shoot let's see, we shot 6 episodes for Season 3. This is going to be confusing. And those have started to air. I think this Tuesday is like the 3rd one. And then the final 10 episodes for Season 3, making a total of 16, we have also just begun. And I don't know if there's going to be a studio for those final 10 or not. They don't tell us much. They basically just say, go to Mexico, risk your life. If you make it back, we'll do another one. I have never been to Romania. Vampires, cool. That should be good. It's probably, blood sucking and whatnot. Seems like a pretty good way to go. Do I keep a journal of my adventures, Trista? I used to keep a journal, a pretty detailed journal, when I was in college. And yeah, I think now it's turned into Instagram and other, things. Um, yeah, I'm trying to write down some of the process. Hi, Joy. Trying to write down some of the process that's happened in the last 15, 16 years and even before that. I think it's good to kind of reflect on where you've been so you know where you're going. Brianna, you're very welcome. It's my pleasure. I'm sorry if I caught a lot of churchgoers out of sync. Hopefully next time. Just been a little bit crazy, so again, apologize for not being out here more often. Ban of FIA drivers and GRC. Terry, I don't know. I know in the U.S. we're supported by ACUS. I've heard that some of the UK drivers have it pretty bad. Ultimately, everybody hopefully gets to, learns to get along, because educating a whole nation like the U.S. on the word rally or rallycross is a pretty long, arduous, big process. And it's happening slowly and it's happening very successfully, but it's going to take a while. And so people are kind of fighting over ownership of something that really doesn't exist yet in the U.S., and that is rallycross. And they're kind of, so hopefully we can just try to build the sport, make it a place where some of us drivers and team owners can maintain business and have a good time and do good work for our sponsors, and FIA and everybody else, learns to capitalize on that instead of trying to cut any legs out from underneath each other, which I haven't really seen them do that much. But certainly the ban for competing in GRC, I don't know if that's what it is, but I also understand the FIA's perspective. They want to make sure that the drivers that are insured by them are racing in tracks that meet their standards, which their standards for safety are very high. And JRC has proved that some of their standards aren't quite as high, and that just has to change flat out, or the sport won't survive. Jason, you're welcome for the answer. Have you seen Reese's new Formula Cross idea? Hell yeah, I have. Remember, I was Reese's roommate, so I lived in his house when I first moved to California 7 years ago, 5, 6 years, whatever, long time ago, it seems like. And he had those quads sitting in his garage and was always talking about converting those quads into something cool that you could drive. And I can't believe that he did it. It's awesome. So hopefully he goes absolutely crazy with that stuff and takes over the fun world. Hi from Scotland, Jillian. That is awesome. Haven't been to Scotland in a long time. It's your birthday on Wednesday. Happy birthday. Where in Scotland are you from? I used to live between Aberdeen and Dundee. So if you took Aberdeen and Dundee and connected them, there's Montrose. And then if you went in about 10 miles, 6 to 10 miles, I can't remember, but I couldn't drive at the time legally. That's where we lived, in a tiny little farmhouse in Farnell was the town. Had a population of 49. Place was awesome. Best BMX biking ever. Brett is asking, does the time spent on TV shows affect your racing career? It has affected my racing career positively, for sure, because it's helped me garner the sponsors needed to compete. But it's also, it can be, a little bit on the time-consuming side. So that's just all kind of part of it, is finding the balance there. But it's been a formula that I've had for a long, when I did my first show, really, which was 8-9 years ago, when I was just getting started in drifting was if I could wear logos and stuff on the show, I could get the sponsors as basically their money's worth before we ever got on the racetrack. And as long as the marketing manager or director or the person whose job was, who was taking a risk on having me as a sponsored athlete saw that, then whether we won or lost on the track didn't really matter. And they were covered. It was a safe, so it makes it a safe investment for them, and safe investments are typically good investments. My friend and I are trying to get Rallycross tips. Jack, Rallycross I think is going to be broken into multiple levels, and I think there really is going to be this feeder process, kind of like drifting, where I don't know who does it now, but Drift Day or Drift Buffet or whatever the Formula D feeder series is that brings you into getting a license for Formula D and then competing in Formula D. I think there's going to be the same thing for Rallycross. I don't know what it's going to be called, but Rally America will probably be a part of that, as they're very good at cultivating the grassroots level of the sport and elevating people's competitive level. But it is difficult. It's a difficult process. It's much easier to start at the top of the pyramid and let it grow underneath you than it is to climb your way up it, that's for sure. So I don't envy the process, but I know it's worthwhile trying. So go for it. Tracy, thank you very much, and thank you, Joe, who's probably not there, but do I see Rallycross growing in the U.S.? WRC events have been in the U.S. in the past, believe it or not, in Oregon. Rallycross definitely I see growing in the U.S. I think there are a lot of big companies and big names that are investing time and money into the sport, and there's a big need for it for a lot of companies. There's a lot of companies out there around the rest of the world who've made massive livings off of small cars being fast and cool, like small performance cars, and we don't have that in the States. So there's a piece of the puzzle that's missing. It's seen as a little bit of low-hanging fruit business-wise, and but we have to change the perception of what is cool in a car here. And racing small cars like Rallycross cars, maybe we'll do that. Maybe it won't, but hopefully it does. Oh, Joy, I was 3 days early. That's my bad. But congratulations anyway, in 3 days from now. Adam's comedy show in San Diego in February. I would love to. I've never seen, I assume you're talking about Ferrara, and I've never seen Adam stand up. I've heard it's hilarious though, and I believe it would be hilarious. So I'd love to make it. I didn't know he was doing it in San Diego. We don't talk much, When they say that's a wrap, we just go dead silent and walk our separate ways. Not really, I'm kidding. But I did not know he was playing in San Diego in February. That is awesome that you gave me a heads up on that. And wow, and your question just came up again about Phil Collins. Thank you. I don't really have much Phil Collins on my iPod anymore, although occasionally In the Air Tonight sneaks in to a playlist, and yeah, I usually turn it up a little bit. That's what can I say? I do have a lot of 80s music, and it's sad, I'll hang out with Rutledge and he'll be singing the songs to like some Glee song, and he has all the words absolutely memorized, and when some, not to completely date myself, but when an 80s song comes up, basically of any kind, it could be Dr. Dre or it could be the Police, it doesn't matter, I know every word, and I didn't know that. I do like to dance, Oana, yeah. Especially Spain style, come on. It's all discotheque crazy and 5 in the morning there. Yes, Nico, that's right, in Kouvola. I'm absolutely butchering that, I know. Yeah, come on out. Helsinki, it's close. It's very close. Sally, I would love to go to Seattle for a Top Gear Challenge. May not be the best time of year, I don't know, you tell me, but it starts to get a little cloudy these days, right? Or is this the best time to go up there? And I hear there is great coffee, actually. Sirens Cove. Give you the tour of Sirens Cove. Sounds awesome. I had a friend that lived on a floating house up there in, was it Washington? Lake Washington. It's cool. Okay, I'm gonna cruise through pretty fast now because I have to go pretty quick. But I'm gonna start burning through. Um, any GRC events in LA, Brianna? No, they're in the last two are in Vegas. Actually, September 29th and uh, October 30th. I think are the current. That schedule of GRC is a little bit of a moving target, but those seem pretty solid right now. Jonah, my pleasure. It is so cool that you guys have like made friends, through linking up with Top Gear and all that kind of stuff. It's very cool. That's it's probably one of the cooler stories I've heard out of any like of these fan sites or these types of communities is people coming together for real. So I'm really happy to hear that. That's cool. And people that are on my page are the best, right? You guys are awesome. So it only makes sense that you'd get along great. My friend and I are trying to get okay, good. I think I pretty much caught up. I'm gonna hit refresh one more time and hopefully not abandon a lot. But so oh gosh, 40 new ones. Yeah, I'm gonna miss a lot of questions and I apologize. Let's skip right to the end here. I don't know about rally events in Indiana. Gonna be honest. Indiana. Nope. I don't know of any. But let's see. What is closer? There's a stage rally just north of there. And who knows what's going to happen with Rallycross and SMI, although I don't think SMI is a track there. Top Gear, Jason, Top Gear bloopers. Oh my gosh, I've seen some videos behind the scenes. If you do a search for one for Rutledge and I, behind the scenes, I think it was for a Forza 4 commercial kind of thing. It was like a promo video. It may be listed as behind the scenes or outtakes, and you'll get an idea of what it's like when we have some sort of decent car and a couple of us playing around. It's fun. I hope there is a video that comes out that's all just bloopers because basically the show is bloopers, but sometimes it gets too inappropriate for broadcast, but it still is really fun. Rodney, thanks. I would love to come to Kansas City. Is that where barbecue is good and old? In Missouri, Hannah? I bet, Rutledge is like a barbecue expert, and I love the fact that so many different parts of the country have their own style of barbecue. And I'm a fan. I'm a fan of barbecue. Not as much of a fan as Rutledge, but I do like a good old barbecue, so Kansas City sounds pretty good. Because he's selling his. Let's see. What do you think? NASCAR would be cool, but my gosh, those guys race like 36 weekends a year. What a job that is. And keep in mind, NASCAR is like, around the rest of the world, a lot of people think, oh, it's a great place to go retire, once this Formula One thing doesn't work out like, Juan Pablo Montoya. Once I'm ready to kind of move to the next step and settle down a little bit, get in a motorhome and drive around the country. It's not like that. Those guys have a unique skill set. I know it looks like turning left, but when you get in close and you see, they're almost catching air on some of these tracks coming into the banks. Some of it's pretty freaking nuts, and it would be awesome to try out. But getting involved in NASCAR, their course would be a big, big learning curve. Niall, I have a couple street cars that I'm a car guy. But like I said, I usually don't blow a lot of money on new cars because I don't think it's that I'm frugal, but it's just they just depreciate so much. It makes sense to wait 2 years and get it for half price to me. And plus, I get to drive all the new ones, luckily for work. But I have a 911 Turbo that is kind of a daily driver of a Raptor. That's a daily driver on a day like this where it's like 90 degrees out, and still have my old M3. I don't think I sell very many cars. And then when it's a little cooler, I have a Ducati take out. Got an old 912 that was my dad's car. He bought it new in the dealership in '76, and I bought it from him for way more than I think it was actually worth. And but it's cool. That's what I thought a supercar was. But yeah, so as a car guy, I like cars. I just don't like to buy super expensive ones. Um, what is my opinion on Ken Block, Dan? I think Ken's awesome. He is an absolute genius in a lot of ways. Like he started a shoe company in his garage. Regardless of how that happened, the fact is it started in the garage and it ended with a very valuable, successful brand. So there's a lot of genius that goes into that. It's the same with cars. He is an amazing force when it comes to marketing as a marketing tool for manufacturer. Incredibly valuable manufacturer marketing tool. The Gymkhana videos, I was there right at the beginning with the first one and saw how that kind of just happened, and a lot of people would just be amazed by that and move on. But Ken, being who he is, really capitalized on that first Gymkhana video and has made an entirely successful brand and changed a lot of things that us racers have to do to make a living in motorsports. So that's great. I have a huge amount of respect for Ken's marketing ability and his driving, because the rally stuff that he does is big and fast, and to be in the top 10 in WRC is ridiculous. Okay, I do have to burn out, Karen. Let's see, ERC and the changes. I don't know what's going to happen with ERC. I haven't had an official meeting with them to get the real deal. I've heard a lot of rumors. Some of it sounds awesome. Some of it doesn't sound so awesome. So who knows what exactly is going to happen. My instinct is to try to do it all, but just because I really like the cars and I like the driving, I like the tracks in Europe are real rallycross tracks, and I know that ERC is sticking to those tracks. So I really hope that I get to do all of it. Is that too much to ask? I know it's awful, but thank you, Karen, for coming to Vegas, though. Look forward to meeting you there. Okay, so I think I tapped into most questions. Thank you guys very much for the time. I'm gonna do one more refresh here and see where we're at. Okay, a few more on there, but yeah, thank you guys very much for coming. And Alva says I look tired. That's because, well, it's not early here. It's the lighting, Alva. Come on. I didn't get much sleep last night, but I'm not that tired. Anyway, thank you guys very much, and hope to see you in Vegas. If we don't see you in Vegas, if you happen to be the one or two people here that lives just outside Helsinki, Finland, we'll see you there. But hopefully we'll do this again soon.